What jobs have you had throughout your life?
Well, I haven't really had many different jobs. My main jobs have always been in financial accounts. I ended up at the end of my working career looking after the international accounts for a local firm here. But I did start off doing UK ones, but nearly all of my jobs have been in accounts departments, unless when money was tight and I did a little cleaning job.
Which of those jobs did you find most enjoyable?
I think I really I enjoy maths and I enjoy customer contact, so I was happy in doing all of the jobs in finance. And thankfully the first job that I had, although I didn't appreciate at the time, I was 17, and they had me typing manila brown envelopes to send customer statements out in, and I thought, if this is a working career, I wasn't really very impressed with it. Thankfully the lady who ran the office gave me the good foundation and trained me into doing purchase ledger and sales ledger. So when I was in the accounts department, I was responsible for collecting money in and also paying money out. So I had a good variety within my working day, so the job never got boring and I really enjoyed what I did.
What have been the high points of your career?
I suppose the highs really is job satisfaction. When you've worked in a job, I mean my last job, I was there for 23 years, and you begin to look at the company accounts, and particularly when you're collecting money in, as though they're your own personal accounts. And because you take pride in what you do, I used to like my accounts squeaky clean, so you could then do a cash forecast and you knew what money you were going to get in each week, so you knew what money the company actually needed and what money you were going to pay out, and the customer relationship really, whether actually I was chasing them for money or whether they were chasing me for money, the way that you actually deal with people is how you want to be treated yourself. So I suppose the relationship and job satisfaction is one of the highs I would get, and doing a job to the best of your ability all the while.
Was there any low points during your time in those jobs?
I suppose the low times or the low points is when, say for instance, you're trying to collect 100,000 off a customer, and they raise a query, and you're relying on other people to resolve that query, although you can chase as hard as you can, and even if you get it resolved, you may have missed their payment run. So if you're expecting 100,000, because of that query, they may have paid you just 80,000, and I always found, you take it a bit personal, because when you try to do the job as the best you can, I got frustrated. So I suppose you would call them a low point really, not achieving what you wanted to achieve.
What would you say has been the lowest point of your entire career?
I suppose the lowest point of my entire career is my husband was diagnosed with terminal cancer, and thankfully I'd been in that job for 23 years, so they allowed me compassionate leave, and whilst I was at home they decided to move the finance offices, and although I was offered a job that was like 30 miles away, and there was no way that I was going to leave my husband, so I took redundancy, which was a financial bonus, but that also was a personal bonus, because I was at home with my husband for the last 2 years of his life, bless him. But because I was 63, I was at home, and for 2 years I didn't really want to not be working. So I think that because I wasn't prepared in my mind for redundancy and being at home, and I'd worked for 44 years always full time, because when Chris wasn't well enough to work we swapped roles, which suited us, and I suppose that was a mental attitude really. I felt too young not to be working, and as I expected to be working until 65, I suppose you could say that was the lowest point of my working career, because one, I'd lost my husband, and two, I'd lost a job that I really, really enjoyed. So that was a double whammy for me, and I had to pick myself up and get on with my own life again, but not a working life.